everyone, welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Kat, your guide through the seen and the unseen. Today we're tapping into the current energy surrounding to bring you messages Spirit has for us right now. Take a deep breath, settle in, let's see what the universe is trying to tell you. Also, if you're a soul seeking deeper alignment, make sure to join our community by subscribing. Hello there! Hope you're doing well. Let's get a reading. See what's happening. I'm gonna use this deck. Compassion and Creatrix. Compassion for self and others, soften heart, be gentle, see the good. And Creatrix, express emotions, birth your creations, and womb energy. So, divine feminine energy, sacral chakra energy, true self, and Creatrix. Connect to soul, heed inner guidance, purify energy. So it is the new moon in Taurus tonight. I'm recording this on, I just saw 55, the 17th, and it's 10:34 at night right now. When I started, it was 10:33. Courage is needed, inner strength, action, trust, self, types of bravery. Number 6. All right, let's see what's happened. I'm just gonna let me go ahead and split it, because I always do. Also, this is a stone that I got. I don't remember where, but it's green. So, heart chakra energy. I also have this other one. It looks kind of like a quartz. I also have, this is just what I brought over here. It's starts with a C. I want to say Cornelius, but it's not that. It's something I can't remember. I have a couple of those, but anyways. And I also have the rose quartz and clear quartz. That's just what's over here. And then so I don't know. I don't remember the names. I think this one's a jade. Anyway, I'm bad with names. Also, trust the universe to show you the way and follow your flow. I'm just reading my notes. Watch for signs. Watch for signs for what path to take. Oh, I got this earlier. Divine timing. And the collective. And cool, we got all star ones. The cosmic. So we got 9, 11. So 9111 and Star Divine. Star Divine says inner divine deities, guidance, clarity, and protection. And Divine Timing says trust the universe, follow the flow, patience, and signs. And the collective says all is connected, collective growth supported. So there definitely something about the timing of things. You may be trusting your flow, like I said, having patience with yourself, even though, you know, you might not be producing the way that you want to, be producing. It's at least, you know, not on your own projects. Kind of maybe right now you're focused on stability, which I feel like I'm always focused on that in some sort of way, trying to, you know, get my feet under me, which it's a good thing, but also annoying sometimes, because like I want to do what I want to do, you know. Okay, watch for signs, have patience with yourself, even in stillness. Like I've been called to just, you know, focus on what I can do, one day at a time. Anyway, when you're meant to observe rather than move, so have patience even when you're meant to like just observe. Maybe even observe just the self or the signs, you know, that you're being shown at this time. Stop overthinking and be aware of your calm, like what brings you peace, calm, like the ability to kind of go within and just see like how you feel in your body, how like those nerves, your nervous system, like observing your nervous system. Also maybe something about the divine timing of things and like noticing how you feel about the timing of things, right? Go lay down. You choose your response to something that broke your heart. You chose your response, to something that broke your heart. And the consequence, good or bad, isn't really what matters. But how you responded determines whether it's good or bad. This is for you or someone else. But what you've done is you built stability within, and happiness, joy, peace, is where you're at, while someone else built a house of cards. This is downloads that I've gotten. People see you as someone who with 9 lives. When you were younger, people may have told you, like a lot of people like that you knew may have told you that they thought you died, like because maybe you were gone for a while. Maybe they saw like, I don't know, saw you and then didn't see you for a long time and thought you passed away or something. And also because maybe like your life was kind of chaotic and people knew you as someone who was going through a lot of things. Maybe you've been places most people have only seen on TV or movies. You raised your vibration, and now people see you as shining, and people who made up stories about you don't know what to do to bury you under the narrative. Because it's not working, and it never really was. It was an illusion for them. You were building, they were just dimming their own light. So divine timing, choice, and stillness is what I was getting. But let's see. I also got love is more important than being right. And oh yeah. You may have been afraid to make decisions or making the wrong decisions due to fear, failure, loss, or lack. That was a lie. There was a plan to trap you in fear so you wouldn't move or begin something. It was to keep you stuck in the same cycles that trapped your father or someone who was prominently masculine in your life. A lot of people lack discernment because they've never done work to find the truth of themselves, realizing their own limitlessness. So they can only find your limits through the lens of their own limitedness. They've never reached for their higher selves to find a better way of life. They could never imagine not being in survival mode. You've decided to seek your highest self, to seek life outside of survival. The past way of life that kept you stuck in loops and cycles. Also, you may be creating lists and checking off all the things that you've been doing to accomplish like your goals and things like that. I also wrote, you claim ignorance like it's your best friend. She gave you a free pass to adjust progressive change to the bitter end, to bitter ends. So, I don't know. You gave up your child to be his sister. What? That could be something significant for someone. Interesting. Not judging your life choices, but that's why you're bitter. I'm not judging, but that's why you're bitter. You pretend to be whoever you want. Oh, it says, pretend to be whoever you want. Don't get mad at me because your veil is too thin. Like, I can see through it. Okay, anyway. I was a skeptic, to say the least, for years about Christianity. Really about Jesus being who he is. I spent a lot of time researching, watching documentaries, reading texts, ancient texts and things, trying to get to the facts. For years I thought about Jesus and his life, about all the men that wanted fame, who wrote books claiming to be the truth, like Joseph Smith, that saw God in the woods and formed a religion that was supposedly truer than any other. I also had my lived experience to go by. For example, I had been held at knife point by someone and said the Lord's Prayer silently in my head. The person let me go when I said, "Thy kingdom come," and offered me water moments before it was threatening to cut my throat. That's a true story. Or the many dark nights and paths I was wanting to end it all, but the next day something changed my perspective of the situation, of my situation. I've had many dark nights of the soul and tragedies that struck. Spent much of my time alone, reflecting on things gone wrong, and I don't at this point have pride in the way of admitting defeat much in my life. One thing I do know is God or someone has been with me. To me, Jesus is a reminder that most dark paths are saved for those with some kind of message of hope, love, and faith. that something wants to see us fulfilled with more than despair and grief for our tragedy, our tragic lives, right? Our tragedies not being realized for their potentials. Many of us go our whole lives without knowing who we are. Jesus knew a lot of things. I believe he was an ascended master, and what he taught was love. I thought, why love and not power? I can see love is stronger, to be capable of forgiving your captor and someone who beat you, slandered your name, defiled you, and spilled your blood for power and control. To forgive that is the ultimate act of love. Gandhi did the same. Gandhi did the same with Buddha too. All with the heart of love and the faith in some divine balance beyond power, but the ultimate power at the same time. I don't think this, like, that's the ultimate power is love, right? It's like beyond just being like having things under your thumb, because it's like self-contained, and power really isn't. You have to have somebody else like doing your will, or something like that. I don't know. Beyond power, but the ultimate power. Sorry. Okay, it's beyond power, but the ultimate power at the same time. I don't know. I don't think Jesus was necessarily sent here to save, but I think he did, at least me, because he was the example of willingness to die, the willingness to die for a cause he believed, and to forgive who is unaware of their own unawareness, because the truth of love is more important than being right. Like the feeling of it. So like compassion. Didn't we get that? Yeah. So like the compassion of things instead of being right about everything, or, because what does that give you? Nothing but ego, right? And then love, it kind of gives you, there's a balance there, like you and I both win, right? Like when I was in college, I went to college for a little while, did like a quick associate's degree thing, but they talked about like the win-win, because like in the office you have to be kind of diplomatic, and you have to kind of well, you don't have to, I guess, but it was to teach us to kind of be on an even playing field, right? Like, anyway, we did a bunch of debates and things like that, and presentations, and they said take your emotions out of it, to be objective in situations, right? To find a win-win where you don't want to create scenarios where it's always a win for you but a loss for other people, because nobody's going to want to work with you. And I've noticed that a lot of people are noticing that in like narcissistic people, they don't keep a lot of good relationships. Their relationships are meant for like, what can I get, right? And over time, like, then they do say that like narcissistic people, as they get older, they lose more and more people, right? And they become worse and worse, right? Because they get older, their looks are leaving them. They kind of don't have the same crutches to depend on anymore. They have less and less people in their lives that care, because they've seen their true colors, because eventually it just stops working, all the things, people learn. So, like, over time, these narcissistic people, either they get old and age out and they die alone, or they end up just old and miserable, right? And worse, and things like that. Anyway, I was going somewhere with that. But yeah, where was I going? I think us as a collective, right, it's about divine timing. I think as a collective, more and more people are seeing these types of people have some type of come to Jesus moment, or like maybe we as a collective who've been hurt by these people are having like that come to Jesus moment, like the dark night of the soul, like where we need to cut these people out of our lives, and let them be alone, or let them be, broken, but away from, like self-protecting instead of allowing and enabling and like making it okay, whereas before we would make it okay for the sake of love, right? And then they would be able to in turn use their power control tactics and whatever against us to create that cycle over and over, and that cycle is what's being closed out, I think, where we shed those cycles in the last season, right? Like, and now we're all like maybe even enraged, right? I see the fire horse as like there's rage in there, and that's what's fueling a lot of it. But I think to the effect of like that feminine rage, that there's something creative about it, right? But in a good way, like the womb. Didn't we see that? Something about the womb? And that mother, and yeah. So maybe this isn't about just having compassion for other people. It's about having love. And like, I feel like the truest love is that, like, the tough love, but the love that doesn't enable. It kind of gives a objective. Growth is the objective. Maybe expansion, maybe evolution, innovation. We are in the age of Aquarius, or we're getting there. It's like ending. So the last season was ending cycles, shedding skin, knowing that what comes next is It's got to have stamina. It's got to have, like, you know, horsepower, right? And that true power, it comes from love, right? I feel like tough love is the answer in some way. I don't know. Because, like, it's not putting up with the same old things, you know what I'm saying? Like, the paradigms that we've always done this, is like, all of that is breaking. Anyways, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Let's see. Let's see. I've already shuffled this, but is that all I wanted to say? Okay. Six of Cups and the Five of Swords and the Strength card. The Tower wanted to show itself. And Justice is behind that. And the Nine of Cups. So this is about King of Cups. Overcoming something from the past. It's all being exposed, brought to light in some way. It may be shocking. There's like an upheaval, like this can no longer continue, or something to that effect. It's like there's something more that's being demanded of us, I want to say. Because the House of Cards isn't working. And it's an illusion. But it's not yours. Like, you're here, like, maybe in your inner child energy, like, enjoying life, but you have these memories of, like, I see what blocked this. The elephant. You see the little elephant? Is that a butterfly? So the elephant is like a butterfly. It's got butterfly wings. And there's also something about, like, sweetness, like, so that's one of the, okay, the reason it's hard to see, like, a covert narcissist is because they're sweet, but they're also mean. So if they were just mean to you all the time, you would probably stay away from them. But if they're sweet too, you know, it would, there's like it breaks the brain a little. So, like, it's something like where they contradict themselves with their behaviors, and so your brain doesn't want to grab onto the you know, the mean parts, the evil parts that they show you, because you're like, well, how can they be this mean and also this nice? Or, you know what I mean? For example, my ex, for my birthday a couple years ago, gave me a laptop, just gave it to me. Like, I was like, oh, well, that's nice, thank you, you know. And but also he stole like money from me, like, you know what I mean, like things like that. I don't know. Or, you know, it's like, Or like, I laugh about it now because I'm like, I should have known better, you know, like, than to trust this man. What the hell? Which I did know better, but I was struggling. So it's like, you know, sometimes, I don't know, I don't make the best decisions when my stability is at stake, or, you know, things like that. Or, you know, I think, I don't know, probably went off too much about that, but there's something about that survival mode, right? Like, sometimes people act in certain ways and do certain things to throw you off. Like, they may turn up your refrigerator to 100, you know, way too high, or like whatever, to saying to make ice, but it's like to increase your electricity bill, so you lose stability in that way. Like, money's just thrown, you know, out the window, whatever, you know, things like that. But then you're like, why would you do that, you know? Like, I don't know. But there may be people in your life that want to see you unstable. That's what I'm getting at. That they're not there to assist in your growth and stability. They're there to derail you. And yet you call them friends, or yet you might call them family, or, you know, things like that. And so getting to the point where we see what it is, you know, instead of sugarcoating or making excuses for things. I'm not even dealing with any of that right now, because like right now I'm focused on my stability, but this is how it got to this point where I've had to focus on my stability. Number one, there's a bug in here. Monitoring spirits could be important or coming up for you. Definitely for me. But like, it's like I notice them, and then I don't know. It's like it changes something. I don't know. Anyway, it's like bringing your attention to something. Anyways, I've only pulled 2 cards, so I just want one. What's coming up? What are we? Show me what we're dealing with here. 5 of Swords and 6 of Cups. Show me the card. 5 of Wands. So I'm seeing this as 2 ways, because I also see the full card. The 4 of Wands was poking out a little bit, and Death just wanted to show itself to me. So I see this card as 2 ways, right? Now notice the moles under their feet. I never noticed that before. Like the moles under the feet. So something wanted to trip you up. I'm seeing the flamingos as like needing a higher perspective on things. And to position yourself to build some sort of stability. We saw the 4 of Wands, right? In this new beginning. So it's like you're taking a risk, maybe going down a few rabbit holes here. But remember, you have 9 lives, the cat. make it fun. Also, stay in tune with your emotions with the water behind there, and also ground yourself with all the greenery, right? So there's something about a new beginning that you're taking a risk, maybe making plans, taking action towards, to keep you out of this like stress scenario. Yes, like, so that you're kind of having this warrior energy towards like the past. I want to say memories, but I don't mean memories. I want to say, what's the word? What is the word? Scenarios, experiences, you know, like it's where you're able to kind of expose it to yourself and see, like you're thinking back, okay, yeah, I learned this lesson because that happened. So I know the patterns, right? I can recognize, you know, this or that, and that's kind of like this Two of Wands energy, like the doorways, right? So you're able to see kind of both sides of things, see like, you know, how to go through those situations differently now, you know, and overcome, you know, and that could also be the Tower and the Justice that we're getting here. Wish fulfillment. Yeah, it's how to protect yourself from like stuff. It's different now because you have all this experience that you can see clearly how to build this. So it's not a house of cards now. It's an actual like stable thing. But you're also seeing maybe through the conflicts, competitions, chaos. I said conflicts, right? The things that kept you in those cycles that were never ending, the instability that kept you kind of on the back foot all the time, instead of like moving forward like most people. It seems like maybe if you're anything like me, you've been on the back foot like most of your life. So it's kind of like critical that you get ahead. Like maybe that's been kind of your goal, but it's kind of like everything keeps happening. Just like, I don't know. It's like life won't stop and it keeps happening. So it's kind of up to you to decide like what is, but also it's not just up to you. It's also divine timing. So that could be, it could be what's happening here. But it's also some sort of divine protection. I think that is what, oh, perspective is behind that. It says, evaluate beliefs, bird's eye view, observe your reactions. That little bird, what is that? It's not a bird. It's not a moth either. It's like a gnat or fly. I don't know. Is that a fruit fly? I did buy bananas, so I don't know. There's also just, I just saw 1112, 1112. So it was just 1111 when I was saying that, whatever I said. Anyways, so we're showing up. That's too many. As Judgment and the Fool. So you may be awakening to a new beginning, to maybe your star power in some way. So that the Fool is the first card of the tarot, the first major arcana card in the tarot that is the person, the magician, really, taking the leap of faith to explore a new path, a new journey, in life, right? We also have the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. So there's some sort of wisdom that you're awakening to. It's starting you on this journey of maybe awakening others, maybe awakening self deeper. It does have the collective here. So this could be collective energy. You're awakening. It says all is connected, the collective growth supported. So maybe you're supporting the collective in some way to bring collective growth and wisdom in this journey. So there's some sort of introspection and wisdom and a deep knowing. There's the Ace of Wands in the world. It could be online. This creative energy. We did have the womb energy. So that's like the sacral chakra awakening to like some sort of creative endeavor or some idea. Like, I don't know if this is making any sense, but this is something about a deep knowing of wisdom, about walking away from manipulation, like being the warrior. Instead of doing what we've always done, we learn and we evolve and grow. Unless you don't. And then that's like the pygmy energy, that actually wants to gaslight you into believing that you're in competition, right? And like, really it's because they're insecure. But like, and it's not funny, it's that love, objective love, right? Energy of like, we're not competing. Like, I refuse to compete with somebody, but it's like a knowing of like, I see you, I like, look, and this freaking bug. It's like, I see you, I know that you're here, and I know why you're here. You really, really want to see like what you're not. But it's because they don't know who they are, and that whole thing of like the House of Cards, right? They know they're on shaky, wobbly ground, but they see you building over here, like, and they just want to knock you down, like the moles, the two little moles right here. It's some sort of, and like I said, you have to have that higher perspective, because if you sink to their level, you don't really have a good view, right? See this? But these up here, like that one's trying to, I don't know, you may have to go low to go high. I don't know, but I don't know. Because like, and I do believe that, because like, you don't know until you know certain things sometimes. So that's why we have experiences, to kind of get that knowing, right? Anyway, that's the Judgment of this. It's like the awakening to like a deep knowing of like what you're here for in some sort of way. So let's just get one card though. How are we showing up? The Ten of Cups. That's a good one. And the Queen of Wands. So you're looking very good. You're standing in your power in some way, commanding maybe respect in some way, love, admiration, fulfillment. Like you're not settling. Ace of Cups, Seven of Wands, Three of Wands here. So you're like, okay, I know what I'm worth. I'm waiting on that. And in the meantime, no. You know, like I'm waiting on my happiness. I'm waiting on, you know, what I know fulfills me in some way, right? And something that's going to make me happy, not bitter. Which in this Queen of Wands here in this deck always looks so mad and unhappy, bitter. Your happiness maybe making somebody kind of bitter. They could be I don't know, trying to portray like this the sneaky, like getting away with something type of like energy, like I've mastered myself. Like, so they portray this image of like they're laughing at you in some way, mocking you, but like they make you so important in their, I don't know, like behind the scenes. Like if I'm so unimportant to you and I don't matter, why are you still, you know, making me important? Or I don't know, some sort of energy like that. It's like Queen of Pentacles, Six of Swords. It's like unable to move on. Maybe you're able to move on, build this stability, but it's kind of like that House of Cards in the background. Yeah. And you're over here just sipping your tea with your kitties, and that House of Cards is a little bit looking wobbly. But that's not your business, so I don't know. What's surfacing? Like you can see these things happening, but it's like in the background. You're too busy, like well, that was funny. Okay. King of Pentacles. Yeah, you're too busy. The Star. And the Nine of Cups. King of Cups. Page of Pentacles. So this is about like some sort of opportunity. Maybe you're mastering opportunities right now. Yeah, by going after what you desire. I'm also getting like other people, if they did the same, they wouldn't have time to gossip about you. You wouldn't be as important to them. I don't know. Or like, don't they have sandwiches to make? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh my god. The Emperor. So it's not about power anymore. Your power is in the opportunities that you see as opportunities. The opportunities are that social. So I'm seeing all the birds here, like the social. Maybe you don't really like social. Maybe you're not a fan of that. But I'm also seeing that like this, so as I was saying earlier, like the narcissist isn't looking out for others, right? That they might for a bit, but like it's not something consistent. So look out for that in your relationships with people, because that's how you know like what you're dealing with. I'm not a fan of like being social. It drains my energy a lot of times. But I do like people, you know, like I'm not a fan of like returning texts, talking on the phone. Like I don't want to sit there and chat. But like I genuinely, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you, you know? But I'm not gonna fuck with you all day, every day. I'm Aquarius, Venus. I do not, plus the Capricorn Sun. I don't do that. Also, if like I could go years without talking to a friend and still consider them a friend. Do you know what I mean? Like if you ever need me, like I'd be there, but I'm not the type of person to like want to chat every day. I have too much going on in my own life. Like not to be self-absorbed or anything, but like that's kind of, even my family's the same way. Like maybe we'll see each other for holidays and stuff like that, but I used to call my mom all the time, but there's I don't know, like as we get older, I think we kind of get into like our ways, I guess, and I prefer to be alone. Honestly, you might be the same way. That might be why this is coming out like this. Your choices should bring you peace. You know, Four of Swords and the Lovers. But like, maybe in the past you kind of did what other people wanted you to do, or you felt obligated to like kind of reciprocate, or maybe you were want to get a little bit like, what the fuck, you know, about people who didn't reciprocate. That's when you have to kind of, okay, what is that called? It's an attachment style. secure attachment style. So after healing, that's kind of where I'm at now. Whereas before I was kind of like anxious attachment, or anxious detached. I don't know. Is that what it's called? Avoidant? Anxious avoidant. Yeah. So like texting isn't something that I've always been like. Anyways, but like all of that to say, there's something about knowing what you want at this time. That's what's surfacing. Being secure in your emotions in some sort of way, secure in who you are, riding the waves, going with the flow, with the opportunities that are being presented to you. There could be like a person, possibly King of Pentacles person, if you're not this King of Pentacles person. Something about mastering, I want to say stability. Like there's some sort of, maybe you're just grounded, super grounded in who you are and what you want. So that's why you're showing up as this 10 of Cups here. So I don't mean to be jabbery. I'm definitely talking too much. It's 56 minutes. Anyway, this is going to be a long reading. So what do we need to expand on? The Two of Swords and the Tower. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. So longevity in something. And the Four of Cups. Nine of Wands. So I believe, let me see what this has to do with. Nine of Wands, 10 of Wands, and the Three of Swords, the Moon, and Strength. So that's what we got earlier. Three of Pentacles. So there's some sort of so the burdens I'm getting from the past, right? Because this is in the past kind of position of having to heal from like maybe things you were unconscious of before, like those cycles, toxic relationships, taming that inner maybe ego, maybe other people's egos. Yeah, reciprocity, this balance between give and take. So there's something about, knowing where you stand and planting yourself in like some sort of stability, right? Like obviously a lot of things do depend on our stability. There's also the need to be able to flow, right? So it's kind of a balance between both of those. It's about knowing like what within you keeps you in that flow state, so that you're not like dissatisfied with like things going awry sometimes, you know, like, okay, like gas prices increasing, shit that happens in everyday life, right? Sometimes it can make, you know, things kind of feel unstable, but you maybe protecting yourself. So you have to know who or how to do that. So that you can have that long-term stability. And that's what's helping you build this. I'm also getting that, like, maybe you're protecting yourself from people, places, and things that suddenly pull the rug from under you and keep you in that instability and have for a long period of time. That's blocking, you know, you're blocking that out. Like, you're not allowing, because you may be seeing through with that deep inner knowing of like, no, this isn't what, like, that's maybe what you learned from and had to heal from, so that's like one of those experiences that, yeah, helped you build stability. It was like, this was all a lesson in like how to actually have that stability, that star power, you know, like where you're able to kind of pull from that wisdom on like any situation. Like this maybe like, so this is like Capricorn energy, like, and it's kind of like Pluto going through Capricorn for the last 20 years or whatever it was teaching the world like, how do you be stable? Like, we were kind of closing out how to do that at the last degrees, right? And so now that it's in Aquarius, we're learning a new thing, and that's like that humanitarian digital age, you know, new spirituality, like the collective. So I think that has a lot to do with like also that innovation of, okay, we've learned, so now let's implement those lessons. And this is how, like, so we're no longer accepting these people who don't have social skills. What card was that with the... What card was that? Oh, what card was it? Oh, the Page of Pentacles, right? I don't know. No, it was the Emperor. Yeah. So, like what I was talking about with the what I was talking about with the in college, like we were told, you know, what's a win-win scenario and not just a win-lose scenario. Like, there's a lot of scenarios where people just are looking out for themselves and not, I don't know. Anyway, what are the actions that take? I'm taking too long. A sip of water. Yeah, be protective of self. Stand your ground in some way. Protect your happiness, your Ten of Cups energy. Yeah, your energy. So I think that's something that we are as a collective kind of learning, right? Everything is energy. A lot of people are quitting jobs, making, plans, decisions to change what they've always done, because that energy harvesting that's been going on for years, decades, even centuries, maybe even, where people aren't I think we're finding it harder and harder to work for other people and to do what we've always done. I mean, literally, like, maybe this could have to do with like that 9 lives thing. Like, understanding that like you're not set in this particular like one thing forever. Like there's options to do something different. A lot of wands energy here. And we do get the 5 of Wands too. So Death, 2 of Cups, and the Magician. So understanding, like, you have the power within you. Like, the Magician's all about finding your own power. It's about knowing your own power and putting that to use in some way. It's also protecting your power here. So that's your job right now, is to protect your power. I was talking to a guy, he's like, yeah, I drive, like, that's his occupation. He's like, it gave me my freedom. I don't think I could ever work for anyone else. And I feel the same way. I've told people that myself, that I don't think I could go back to a 9 to 5, because now I have the freedom to do, and I don't know, my energy I would have to love what I'm doing. So yeah, that's the 2 of Cups here. So transforming, like a death rebirth of, like, this is that House of Cards going up in flames. Do you see all the cards everywhere? Yeah. It's like maybe people see that you're happy with your life now, or this could be even recent past, like, where people aren't so quick to have like this, yay, I'm happy for you kind of energy, right? Like they didn't know how to just be happy for you. Maybe it's manipulative, where there's kind of like, so with the 2s here, 2s are about choices, right? Also, eat and drink me. And the candle, there was a lot of like, I'm seeing this as like people being given a choice of like what to think about you, and you've had to be kind of on your back foot because they may be manipulating or seeing you as manipulative, or I don't know. But it's like, I have not been stable, you know, or something like that. And maybe they don't see that. Maybe there's something about Capricorns too, because like Capricorn placements, if you have a lot of Capricorn placements, like maybe a stellium or something in your chart, you might have like this energy of like, I have it all together. You know, on the outside, that's what it looks like. But like, honestly, we have like the worst time having it all together, you know? Unless you've got other like Taurus placements and things like that, you probably, you know, do have a lot of stability, you know, if you're that. But personally, I'm a Scorpio rising, so a lot of air at the base of my chart is like literally how everything has been up in the air. Like, it just exploded, you know, like all these things like take a while to get, you know, for Capricorn sun. I don't know. Anyway, so there's something about realizing your power. I don't know why I'm going into all these details about everything, but it's like kind of I'm called to do right now. I may not clarify, but actually I probably will. It's gonna be a long reading, I guess. Hopefully enjoy that. But this is a lot about choices, choosing to see who you are and how much power you actually have. Maybe healing that. Maybe there was something that needed to be brought to light about that for you to overcome. The Strength card. So it's so that you're able to stand your ground. You know, and maybe you've had to kind of defend against people throwing their house of cards at you. Like, literally, like, don't... I don't know. Or maybe blaming you for their house of cards in some way. A house of cards is flimsy, you know? It's like, it blows away. Maybe you felt like you've had a house of cards yourself. Do you know what I mean? Or like, no matter how hard you work to get stable, it's like that tower energy, that rug being pulled out from under you has been kind of like the story of your life, right? So you've always been on the back foot in some way. And I can relate. If that's you, I can definitely relate to that. And whether it's your own doing or someone else's, it really doesn't matter. It's just the freaking point of like, this is where I've been. But how I've maintained emotional happiness and fulfillment through that, I don't know, but I have. Do you know what I mean? I haven't lost my mind. I'm not out here hurting people. Not intentionally. There's not bitterness in my heart for like anything. There's, you know, hope for a brighter future, you know? Like, I'm not out here like broken, you know? Even though it's been hard. So yeah, you have some sort of hope for future, something coming in to, yeah, I'm seeing this as also foresight. You know, there's something about you have the ability to heal from past experiences, and maybe you're bringing healing to the collective, you know, in some way. Maybe you're a tarot card reader. Intuitive abilities, healing power, compassion, intelligence, foresight, the ability to, you know, see in the dark and liberate yourself and others from things that, you know, are meant to keep you trapped, those systems, you know, but also the ability to talk to God. Like, I always see the Cheshire Cat as like that higher power in some way, even though he was a sneaky little, I don't know, he had some sort of wisdom, right? But I believe, I need to watch it again, but like he was very mysterious. So there could be like some sort of mysteriousness about you, like where you're just kind of doing your thing, but other people see it as like you're hiding something. Like, what the fuck? Or like, I don't know. People are weird sometimes. But I don't know. Excuse me. But yeah, I think we're seeing our ability as something more than kind of like where we started. Let's clarify. Clarify the 501s. Two of Cups. And the High Priestess. So this is about like I feel like compassion for yourself, choosing to overcome something, even though it's hard. There's like a deep knowing of like it's worth it in the end in some way. It's like, yeah, the peace that you get. There's something that you might be putting to rest. Maybe doubt. It's so something, your intuition is being illuminated in some way to bring about peace of mind, peace, you know, maybe learning to balance rest and work, and just being like less maybe you're being more stoic or something towards that, like emotional stability, not allowing it to rock you emotionally when things are chaotic. that's also what's giving you this Ten of Cups feeling, like you're able to, I mean, think of it like you have all 10 cups, which means that like you started at Ace of Cups, self-love, right? Built up to the Two of Cups, whereas you're balancing your masculine and feminine energies and have like, stability in that. Then you have the Three of Cups, where you go out to other people and you're, giving, loving, kind, forgiveness, right? Like that love over power type of energy, right? And the Four of Cups, you reevaluate situations and scenarios and people, and like understand that, like the group versus the self, and how to balance that. And the Five of Cups, you don't cry over spilled milk. You're kind of seeing like the bigger picture and the higher objective in love and in groups and whatever. Then the Six of Cups, you look at the past to learn from the situations that you don't want to experience again, or that you need to, like maybe you feel like you're missing out, or not enjoying life in some way, like that inner child, or like learning from the past hurts and things like that. The Seven of Cups is like you turn those illusions and fantasies, and like you're able to see through and see what the real deal is, because you used all of what you've already learned from the Ace of Cups and on, and you're able to kind of see reality for what it is, and you're aware, right? The Eight of Cups is like you walk away from scenarios that are not for you, right? Nine of Cups is you get your wish fulfillment, and then the Ten of Cups is like you're able to be fulfilled in some way. So clarify the Ten of Cups. I think I just did, but let's see what Spirit has to say. Nine of Wands, yeah, you're integrating lessons, putting things to action, moving on from those betrayals, finding freedom and liberation and hope, faith, and healing, taking action towards things that do fulfill you. I didn't realize she was completely naked in that. But yeah, there's something about like protecting the self. Two Tens, like knowing what to stay for and what to leave behind. And also grounding those emotions, so that, because the Star card is like, both being able to see in the dark, able to ground your emotions in awareness, like the reality of things, and not wishful thinking and things like that. Also, you get your wishes fulfilled when you do all of these things, but it's easier to get your wishes fulfilled when you have integrated all these lessons, right? Clarify the King of Pentacles. Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands is about forward movement. It's about putting action to things, like communicating, also a swift victory. And also in this deck is the after tarot. So he's like aiming true to like what fulfills you in some way, and knowing your value in that, with the King of Pentacles here. The Seven of Wands protecting, with the Four of Pentacles here, protecting yourself, self-love. Also maybe being able to see that overflow, right, of like the Pentacles energy, like what you value. Being able to see the overflow, new beginning in love, maybe a commitment, protecting that. Also, the Nine of Swords is about not being able to make a decision without having some sort of anxiety about it, right? Like, sometimes we get so worried that like this forward movement, something that I'm choosing to do or needing to do, is gonna bring about some sort of chaos for me, or maybe that's what we've always been through. So that's why we fight our demons, and we see, in the dark, we sit in the dark to see, the truth of things, right? Our truth, we bring our truth to the battle in some way of like, what are my attachments? What do I need to defend against? How am I protecting my heart? And my emotional stability, or my stability, how is that affecting my self-love, decision making, things like that. My attachment energy, like, am I feeling lack? Am I feeling defensive? This could be about a person feeling defensive and feeling lack, feeling like they want to offer you something, but they see you moving forward and moving on. It's giving them anxiety in some way. Clarify the Two of Swords. The Ten of Cups. So this is about blocking out what brings chaos into our lives. Nine of Swords, Five of Wands, Ten of Swords, and the Page of Wands. So we're expanding on walking away from, like, discerning, like, what will liberate me from this type of energy. This is yucky energy. And we got the Ten of Cups to clarify. The Two of Swords. We're no longer accepting what's not for us. It's like protecting yourself against things that keep you stuck in this crap energy. It's also why people are bitter, because they keep accepting this type of life. Like, this is the actions to take. Queen of Swords, Seven of Wands, King of Pentacles, just fell on the floor. And then we got the King of Pentacles here with the Eight of Wands, saying walk away from this type of stuff. You know, it's like you have to liberate yourself. You're your liberator. There's nobody coming to save you. King of Pentacles, Temperance, and Nine of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. We got the King and the Queen. Three of Swords, Queen of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, and the Fool. So what I see here is that, like, there's possibly a new beginning with an Emperor person, and maybe wanting to offer you commitment, but this could be yourself. Like, where you're getting wish fulfillment is by you doing the work and having this power of, like, alchemy, finding balance, doing the work right. It's all about, like, how do we find stability in the instability? Even though things are not always going to be perfect, you have to find ways to make the most of it, right? I don't know, something to that effect. And defending against this House of Cards type of energy, like where, you know, everything's unstable. There's some sort of clarity about, like, where you stand in something. That's the actions to take to have clarity about where you stand. Clarify this Three of Wands. Page of Cups in the world. So it's messages of this, like, love energy, like this innocence, this spiritual, like, seer type of energy. Like, there's no more fish in the cup. No. Like, let that fishy go to sea. Or closing out cycles. The Hierophant, Eight of Cups, and the King of Swords. So yeah, this is like knowing with clarity. I just said that. Literally, I just said that, so it's having the foresight to put that wisdom of knowing who you are. You are the magician. We are all magicians. We're always creating, and I believe that 100%. The world has the magician energy as well, because it's got all of the elements. Also, I've been seeing a lot of hawks lately, and so this is significant. And the Four of Wands is behind the King of Swords. This is how you get stability. So it's not all about, like, having like, money. It's about within you, are you balanced? Because a homeless person could be a houseless person, could be able to, you know, have this fulfillment as well. It's not about the money. It's not about money at all. Because even rich people have bitterness in their hearts. Anyways, I've made this long enough. It's 1:34:29 or 30. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching.